Hello, hello, hello. Hopefully you can hear me. Okay, let's make sure I got my shirt on. Hi guys. Okay, the best laid plans. That is my motto. I don't have them anymore. Okay, so good evening. I was going to try and use a different. Can you guys hear me? The microphone is not working, so we're going to ditch this. Hi, Christina. Okay. I'll have to stick this thing way behind me. Okay, it's not working and I don't know why. But can you guys hear me? I'm going to raise this camera up just a little bit. Okay, there we go. Okay, your email this morning had me at have you ever. Okay, we're going to play that game. Never have I ever. It's a very fun game. Okay, you guys can hear me. I'm getting thumbs up. Oh, hold on. I'm adjusting the camera so my head's in there. Okay. So I should start saying good evening. I cannot see who's logging in here. I can see it there, so my phone is giving it away. There we go. Okay, now I see it. Okay, now we're... Okay, hi Bonnie, hi Ann, hi Betty, hi Judy, hi Lisa, hi Christina, hi Patricia. Patricia, thank you for sending me your art. I shared that. I guess my email sparked a, so I right now am having a complete anxiety attack. Okay, let's get rid of this. Excuse me, I was testing out my food. I made dinner. Big surprise. Okay. So it's 5:30. It's time. Excuse me, I should have gotten something to drink. I was testing my food. So the email that I sent, which I don't have it in front of me, excuse me, I literally have something in my teeth. Okay, I'm human. That we've discovered. Okay, so welcome to my studio. I'm Tracy, and I sent an email today, and I'm going to be honest, I write them, but Donna facilitates how everything gets sent. So thank you, Donna. If you're just joining, first off, I'd love to say welcome. Please let me know where you're from. If you want to do like a watch party or share this or put it on your homing pigeon and send the pigeon out, I would appreciate that. Give it thumbs up, hearts, whatever, subscribe. It's going to my YouTube channel after this, so if you're not live, I'm a hand talker. I'm sorry. It's funny. I had to go. This is how bad my email, I'm going to be so honest. This is how my email that I sent this morning, if you're not on my email list, I have a link that you can go to on Tracy Weinzaffel Studios, and it will give you the 5 keys to Artful Journey, and you can be on my email list, and it will notify you of things coming up, because every week I get emails from people or messages or I can't find you, and I'm doing the best I can to be like Dick Clark coming to you live in your bedroom and living room. And so I feel like American Bandstand. But anyway, so right now I'm having a complete moment, like a let it go. I need to let it go moment. And I'm going to let it go. So today's email, I have some questions for you, and I want you to type, thumbs up, give me a heart. How many of you, for one reason or another, it could be any reason, you get a new art journal and you don't want to start it. You don't want to mess it up. You don't want, like that first page is going to, in your mind, that first page is going to set the scene for your future. So you're just not going to start. Okay? How many of you buy supplies and save them for a rainy day? speaking of Donna, she just stepped in, so I'm going to ask her if she doesn't mind sharing the 5 keys link so that you get something in return for just putting your email in, and you'll be on my email list. And I sent an email this morning that seemed to resonate with you because I'm getting thumbs up. But how many of you just have, okay, now I'm going to preface what I say. I used to work for a paint company. So a lot of the stuff you see, like I bought all this stuff. I was saving it for a rainy day. Now I don't know what I'm saving it for, but you're guilty of getting all I feel like there's people standing up in the middle of a meeting going, I have a problem. I can't tell you how bad my OCD is, but I'm going to give you an example. I actually have an example that I got in the mail today, and it's in this little box. Okay, so here's some other questions I have for you. And welcome. If you are new here, please introduce yourself. Please tell me where you're from, how you found us, whatever. Today we're going to talk about letting things go. Okay. And there are so many people who email me and say they don't want to start their art journal. They're afraid to mess it up. How many of you are working through your art journal and you get to a page and you don't like that page? So you either want to tear the page out, or now you want to burn the art journal, you want to throw it in the backyard. And that's, I got a planner. Here's an example. I got a planner and it's nice and new, and I was like, if I start writing and I make a mistake, it's going to ruin the whole planner. It's going to ruin the whole year. I am guilty of everything I'm telling you. Everything I tell you, I'm guilty of. So I'm just asking questions that that make you. So although I start in the middle of the journal, I hoard supplies. Like, yes. But I did get this art journal. I am a recovering perfectionist. I like to say I'm imperfectly perfect. So, I don't like my handwriting. I mean, how many of you don't like your handwriting? And your handwriting alone is going to set the tone for the rest of this book. I mean, ripping out pages out of your art journal because they're just not perfect enough. I mean, and then you hear, let it go, and Elsa's singing, let it go, and you just can't let it go. So I'm going to give you an example of I'm a crazy perfectionist. Now, I used to be guilty of I used to scrapbooks. I used to buy papers for a rainy day. It was the most beautiful paper in the world. I'm going to be at the most special event in the world, and I'm very linear. Everything has to line up. If it doesn't line up, how about if just something is slightly crooked? I can't go to bed sometimes if I look up and I've got this huge 30 by 50 canvas, and if I look up and it's off a little bit, I gotta fix it. I just ran a cord. I have an extension cord that runs from my island over to the wall, and my dad said, oh, buy this wire cover. Well, I bought black. I should have bought brown. It's on my brown floor. Now I've got this thing that runs across the floor. I bought the power strip 1 foot too short. It's going to slightly drive me crazy. Now, if you're guilty of any of these things, I'm going to tell you how to get over them, because these are all things I'm guilty of. I also have, not proud to say, but I also have anxiety, so I'm bad. I'm prone to panic attacks. The worst one I ever had was in a Walmart, and I lost my phone, my purse, my list, everything that I had going, because dumb me had a panic attack and lost my cart. Somebody managed to find me. So these are all things that I have tried to overcome. And I will tell you, when I discovered art journaling is when I kind of just let it all go. And not let it all go, because I am cuckoo like crazy. But it is so funny that when I start an art journal now, or I just finished one, and the book is just crazy messy. And I like embracing the crazy messy, which is so anti what I believe in. And you guys are welcome to share things that have thrown you off kilter. Because if you're guilty of any of this and you're not mindful of it, or you just let that stop you, it's going to stop you from freeing yourself and and being okay with things. Like yesterday last week I finished this book, and it was so freeing and I was so happy. But then I realized, you know what? I forgot there was one page in here that I didn't do because I wasn't really overly fond of the page, I guess you could say. I don't know why. I will share that, Donna. But I know, and it's not messy. Betty says, you call that messy? So that's why I give tips to kind of curb the things that drive me insane. I have jumped into the planner. I am writing. I did buy correction tape, though. Couldn't help myself. I bought correction tape. I am, I used to write letters to people, and then I'd make a mistake, and I'd just cross it out, and oh my God, why? And then it just ditched the whole letter. And then those people never heard from me because I let that stop me. So I'm not like that anymore. In fact, now I'm just writing wherever, and it's very freeing. And I don't know if this is more women than it is men, but I just want to talk to you about not letting those things stop you and being aware of it. Because sometimes I just have to dig in and go, you know what? I don't have an idea what I'm doing. This could turn totally messy. And thank you for saying you like the book I just finished. I'm probably overly honest. I've always used humor as a tool, as a defense mechanism. It gets me out of trouble. I work with all guys, and I literally will say something to them, and like I gotta act tough, and I'll be funny about it, and they know I'm serious, and then I'll turn around and cry. They never see it. They don't know I'm a woman. I go through times of the month. For those of you who say you use, so Christina, me with a pencil, I have a certain pencil. It has, I even know the softness of the lead in my pencil. These are things that people should not know. I have a .7 3B pencil lead. And it was funny, about a month ago, I lost my pencil. Well, I found my pencil. It was in my own lunch bag. I take lunch to and from work. And it was funny because I kept saying, I ripped the entire office apart and said to everybody, I have to find this pencil. So I do write with a pencil, but I won't even use the eraser because I'm like, I don't want to mess the eraser up. So, oh my God, I need more help. My art journal is the place, I'm telling you this, where I don't have to be perfect. And I do let it go. I promise you, I do. And even when my books get overly thick or the binding falls apart, to me, it's all part of that journey and that journal and that chapter. But I did find my pencil. It was in my lunchbox. So I will fix this power strip situation because this is going to drive me freaking bonkers until I fix it. But see, that's not my art journal. Today, this is what I'm going to tell you what's in the box. My new business cards, and they're so cute. I had to get business cards because I'm traveling this weekend, and next month I'm going to something. And so I was like, I got to update myself. I got to get business cards. And so I got business cards, and they're totally cute. I mean, they're they're all paint splotchy, they're thick, and they're great. And on the back, there's something. And I love them. There's some things I will fix. And like my zip code that I typed wrong. I have 3 boxes of these. I'm going to wallpaper my bathroom in these things. And I just have to let it go. Because, by the way, who's going to ever send me a piece of mail? Nobody. I'm going to pass these out. They're going to be folded, and then they're going to be stuck underneath the table to keep the table from moving around. So I just need to let that stuff go. And there are times where I need somebody to tell me it's okay. It's okay. They're going to use these to put underneath a table. So you don't really have to have your zip code wrong, right? Okay, everybody, by the way, you need a business card. I will send you these cards, and you just have to change the 6 to a 9. My zip code is not 6065. The other thing I realized is when I was looking at my business cards on the big screen, this might be getting old. It looks really big on a 21-inch monitor, but when they arrive, they're really small. So I think if somebody wanted to send me a piece of mail anyway, they're bound to hit my email address anyway. Okay, everybody, these business cards in some way, shape, or form need to hit the mail. I will send you, I emailed the company to tell them how stupid I was and how much I love them. And if they ever do discount codes for idiots, that's how I worded it. I know I love them. I love them. And I need to just let this go, which I will. By the way, first world problems. Who gives a crap? I mean, people have much bigger problems than my extension cord and this. But this is the stuff that I look at and I go, I have to turn this into, it's just how it is. It's the story of my life. And do you remember those business cards where I put a 6 versus a 9? And just so you know, if you flip a 6 upside down, it's a 9. All right, I found the way to get over this. But what I want to say is, please, 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 do not let any of this stop you at any point from starting an art journal, starting a page, using that as an excuse of it's not going to be perfect, or getting to the point on a page where you give in or give up. That is not going to serve you well. Your art journal consider this a safe haven. It's a safe place to explore. That is what I want to, that's what I've done. It's been so freeing. Betty asked, did the company offer you a discount? I just emailed them 2 seconds before I got on. Here I am. I was driving home, and I usually use this dictation thing on my phone. I will turn it on. I have lots of thoughts that run through my brain. And I either have to pay a therapist to go every single morning, or I turn on, like if I have something that's going on or an email that needs to be written, I will actually say to this app, and it types up everything I say. And then I just send it to myself and I edit it so I don't have to type so much. But anyway. Patty just hit something right on the head. That I was born with. I was bred with this. Measure 782 times, cut once. She said measure twice, cut once, but my dad raised me to measure 782 times and cut it once. I'm not joking. I almost threw him off the roof one time when we were building the trusses to my garage. And I told him if he measures one more time, I was going to take the tape measure and shove it up his kazoo. But that's not how it sounded to my mother. So, and I am the world's worst proofreader. I have aligned myself to know that what's in my brain doesn't necessarily go on the paper. I once painted with a dear friend of mine, Denise, and I'll never forget this. We we were stamping. It was either live life or love life, but we got it all backwards, and it was hilarious. I wish she was here. She would tell the story because it could have been the wine. Now that was a factor, but B, she got home and and she text. She even posted photos of it. It was like, look at my art piece. I wish she was here. And if she pops on and I see her name, I'm going to make her tell the story because the next day I didn't notice it. I thought it looked fantastic, and it was a canvas I think she painted, and we were both like, "This is so great! It was so amazing." And the next day we realized it was completely spelled wrong, and I loved her attitude. It was, well, this is part of the journey. It's like, this is part of my story. She's like, I'm hanging this up, and it was so funny. We now laugh. I will never forget. Those are the things that I go in life. Does it really matter? Does this really matter? Does this really matter? Does this really matter? And no, I'm not telling my dad about this. That's my problem. I do have to send stuff to people to proofread because I know that's such a weakness of mine. Betty just said I'm the world's best proofreader if you ever need help. My friend Yvonne is a great... I am at work. I will tell people I'm very... knock on wood. I'm good at what I do. Watch me not have a job. No, I'm good at what I do, and I blow work out. Stuff comes on my desk, and I get it. It goes. I email like 87,000 times a minute, and that's what makes me good at what I do. But then it doesn't matter what happens. Somebody will respond back and said, leaving out the L in public transportation does make a big difference. Patty just says, oh yeah, she's an engraver and I have to live the journey more than I like to admit. But Patty, people have to proofread. Like, I'm responsible for this and I own it. I just want an idiot discount when I have to reorder $100 worth of business cards. Which, by the way, if you've ever used moo.com and if they're here and they would like me to attest, they come beautifully wrapped. I designed this card. They didn't. It's all me. This is all me. I'm just looking for a break because I will hand every one of these out and be like, don't mail me anything. Please don't mail me anything. Please don't mail me anything because I won't get it unless you turn the 6 upside down. So speaking of new art journals, which I just started, and I started this with my Artful Journey group. I started this on Monday. Oh, I get that, Patty. This is what I painted live with Wine, which is one of the membership perks. We get together once a month and paint, and it was water with wine, but many times it's wine with wine, unless I'm writing words. So this was done in less than an hour, and I started a new journal. And so I know, isn't the box great? And I have 3 of them. So I'll be mailing business cards to y'all. So this is a watercolor book. I changed up the size. Great question. I will answer that question. What do you do with your art journals when you finish? I will answer that question. So this journal is a different size, and it's 5 by 8 1/4. I need to come out with journals because this isn't perfect for me, but it's more this, or it could be this, either way. But I've decided, and this morning I made this snap decision, on Tracy Weinzapfel Studios. I asked what flower would you like me to paint, and that is the list that I started. I'm going to use this book as a practice all types of different flowers and learn something about them. The question was raised of what about crossing out the zip code? I'm going to do that with a pencil and just fix it. Yeah, because I don't want them to go to waste. I don't even like to waste paper. What do I do with my art journals when they're done? I save them all. I have every one from the day I started, and I used to do more of a real big mixed media. I put them in piles. Hold on. I just cleaned my studio. I have a bin oh, here's some. They're there. There's some. Those are just my latest, like, whoops. There's some stacked up behind. Obviously, they go with me when I'm teaching. I use these as examples. And, there's my teaching book. This was the book that I completed last year. And see, the binding started tearing apart. This was just well loved. Well loved. And one thing I get asked about painting the back, and one of the reasons I paint the back is, see, this is what happens when you seal with a Sharpie, and you've got a lot of Sharpie stuff. So that's why I do it, but I could still draw on it. Here's one that is many moons ago look at how big this bad boy is. Many moons ago, in fact, many of you, this was one of my most favorite books in the whole wide world. So these pages actually come out. I could frame them. This has traveled all over the world with me. Literally all over the world with me. And this was just, so I keep them. And I reflect back to them. I can tell you where and when certain pages happened. Must have been having a tough day this day. So, and these pages all have something to them. Now, mind you, this is mostly done, this particular book was mostly done in acrylics. So that's why you can hear the pages are kind of sticking together. But this one is really big. And the reason, this was the day that Prince died. It's all purple. This was my birthday. It wasn't a good one. I never finished it. But you see, I never tear a page out. Now, this one has removable pages. That doesn't count. I could easily remove this in no beat. Christine just said it. This is probably, I shouldn't pick a favorite. All my kids are my favorite. No, this is probably my favorite. But see, I keep them down here. Yes, they have been through, you guys have probably, these are all like from my teaching. So I was teaching a tag class. So all my ideas, don't be afraid when you do something, don't be afraid to replicate that idea in various forms. You're learning, you're getting, somebody said to me the other day, I love how you made your page look so perfect. No, I didn't. But the imperfections are what I'm embracing in this. And that's what I'm trying to tell you when I say let it go. A business card, yeah, that's not the end of the world. An extension cord, nothing. None of that matters. And that to me has been the biggest learning experience in my life. And yes, counseling helped. I'm real about that one. And the other thing I do, and I try not to do, and I've been really conscious about that. Of course, my kids are not here, but I think when I was younger, that perfection, I never want my kids to get that. Like I said, my brother, when I was younger, would take one box crayon out of the crayon box and, break it. And then I was like, I would go to my mom, just in utter tears. And it's the end of the world because that crayon box was 63 other crayons was ruined in my mind. And I think with age comes that ability to just say, it's just not a big deal. And I think really through my art journal is one place that I have let it go. Let it go. And it doesn't matter. If a typo happens, that typo was part of my story. That typo was where I was supposed to be when it happened. And I want to encourage you, if anything in my email hit home with you this morning and you walk over to your art journal and, excuse me, you go, I'm going to start it today. Start it. Do not, broken crayons still color. So do not. I will tell you, I'm taking a little different direction with this imperfect size. It's not my favorite. I realized once I started it. But in fact, I have a journal that I started way long ago with watercolors, and it was this exact size. I had bought two of them. I don't know why. So that's why this was hanging around, because I also have the motto of use your supplies. If you don't, they will probably dry up. And the rainy day situation and the perfect paper, today is the perfect day. You wake up on the green side of the grass. Today is the day to use it. Cut it up, put it in, use it as a background, any of those things. If you lose one marker out of the marker set, the other markers will still work just as well. And if you're anything like me, you probably bought the big set because you didn't want to be without one color. And use your supplies. Use your paints. Make your watercolors messy. Before this, when I was younger, I used to get watercolors and I would spend more time cleaning the outsides of the pans to make sure. I would spend more time just making sure the watercolors were clean than truly using them as they're intended to use. The messier, and don't throw those pages away. They're part of your story. They're part of that chapter. They're part of the learning process. They're part of building, Somebody asked today, I think somebody said, do I only paint flowers? The answer is no. I've painted other things. I was showing in one of these books, and mostly flowers, but I'm using this as an opportunity to also expand my mind. I kid you not, today I have to write them all down. I have to make a list because I have OCD and everything has to be in a list, and then I have to cross it out. And you should see my to-do list at work. You should see my Post-it notes at work. When I print all my Post-it notes. I don't ever handwrite a Post-it note. That's how neat I am. Mm-hmm. So here's my running list, and I've got to update it because I haven't been home all day. There were flowers that I had to look up. Bleeding hearts, blue balloon flowers, and I was like, oh my goodness. This book is going to be, of course I might change my mind in the middle. They'll be painting an elephant. But if I paint an elephant, that's okay. It's my book, it's my story, it's my chapter. But I've decided I'm going to utilize this to learn about the flowers and the things that are interesting to me. I paint flowers because they are imperfect. That's another thing. I picked a subject that I am passionate about. I have a whole bouquet of flowers that I just got. I buy them. I plant them. They're in my yard. So if flowers don't appeal to you, then find what appeals to you. Find what appeals to you. And you can still use those same skill set. Don't let the imperfection stop you. Do not let it stop you. One page goes horribly bad. Leave it in there. Learn and grow from it. And if you get business cards that you design, I'm keeping them. Just this talk alone talked me off the ledge. But I'm serious. I got so many responses today of people saying that fear of being imperfect or not having it perfect was stopping them. And my statement, drawing a blank, it's been a long day, is please don't let that fear stop you. Buy the planner, use the planner, write with your heart's content and just write all over things. I really, the more I put in this, the more I'm realizing I'm sharing. I mean, for heaven's sakes, people are afraid of their handwriting. Do you know how valuable your handwriting is? I mean, think about something your grandma wrote as a recipe and she didn't worry about her handwriting, and now you save it and you fold it and you keep it and you laminate it. I mean, come on. That is, I'm that way about pictures too. I've got friends who will go, oh, this side, this angle, no. for the most part, I'm like, oh, double chin. I love my double chin. I rarely will say, retake that photo unless there's something hanging from my nose or in my tooth. And in that case, I'm like, don't take a picture of me when I'm eating broccoli. Nobody cannot have something in their teeth with blueberries or broccoli. Dehydrated blueberries in the morning are the worst. Yeah, and so that's something. Oh, good, Patricia. The other thing about flowers is there's so many. It's like right when you realize one of my future topics is art books with idea books on drawing flowers. So I will be sharing ones I've had, ones I've kept, ones I've used, ones I've not used. Yes. So if you're not liking your handwriting, I mean, I can give you tips. I will give you tips on handwriting. I just thought of that. Tips to handwriting. I got to email myself. I went to school for construction, and they make this really cool template that I've used, a ruler just to have your lines. But how do you think your great grandma ever pulled a ruler out to write a note to you? Mine never did. And mine were written in a foreign language, so I value them even more. Yeah, so I always say, there's going to be a day I'm not on the green side of the grass, and I hope my kids look back at my art journal and they use that as a diary, and they look at that as a diary. Now, not the kind of diary that was in Bridges of Madison County where the brother and the sister got together and found out that Meryl Streep, had a fling. I don't really want that kind of journal. I don't think my flowers say that. I always tell my mom, don't you dare leave stuff in a chest that I have to open up and now read your journal and your sortie past. You leave that for somebody else. All right. Did anything I say today resonate? If it did, I would love to hear it. I would love to hear anything that you guys have as far as tips to let things go. I think I'm far better, except for my perfect Post-it notes, which nobody knows how I do it, and I'm not letting that go. The other thing is I'm planning out, of course, the next 6 months of conversations that we're going to have. I will also mix in doodling time. Don't worry about that. So if there is a topic, somebody suggested the color wheel, that's coming up. I think I put all of January's into the events on my Facebook page. If there is any topic whatsoever that you want me to cover, I am an open book. I will cover it. I will talk about it. I will research it. Some things I care not to talk about, but I'm sure we could find a way. But if there's anything that you guys want to talk about or touch on, or a certain technique, handwriting is one of them. I'm writing it down. Barbara just said, oh, Barbara. I'm writing handwriting down. I do have tips for handwriting. Don't do it. No, I'm kidding. I do. Barbara, I was just talking to Simple Scrapbooks in Colorado. Okay. Yeah, these are things that I think about, and one thing leads to another. I can't even begin to remember what next week's topic is, but I will find out what that is. I'm willing to talk about books. I have books coming up that have helped me. I love the questions. I love that you asked me where I keep my done journals. I think they would be, yes, Kathy. I was going to say CJ, but that's how she is on Facebook. I think your art journals are great to sit on your coffee table. I think they should be displayed. To me, you should be proud of them. It's a reflection of you. And you are not perfect. Oh, nor am I. Oh, God. I think I just gave out about 700 of my imperfections in half an hour or less. One thing I'm going to mention before I leave, and I leave you because I am tonight going to let this go, or I'm going to be sitting in bed writing, turning sixes over. In February for Leap Day, the 29th, mark your calendar from 8 to 10 in the morning. I have something coming up, and there'll be more information coming out about that. So that would be 8 to 10 on February 29th. Mark your calendar about that. This weekend, stay tuned live. I never know when it will happen, but I do plan on it happening. I am going to Creativations, which is the art and crafts industry manufacturer convention where they release new products and you see the latest and the greatest, and art supplies and craft supplies. And I'm going there for Friday to Sunday, and it's basically going to be my girlfriend and I. It's going to be girls' weekend and just meeting up with old friends. So if you are going, I would love to see you. Creativations, it's in Phoenix, and I will be there Friday to Sunday. And I just booked my trip to Las Vegas for those of you who go to the painting show in Vegas. Yes, 8 to 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, my time. If you cannot be there, there will be a replay, but there'll be more information. I think I froze. Did I freeze? I hope I didn't freeze. I feel like I froze. Okay, maybe I didn't. Hopefully I'm still moving. If you're going to Las Vegas for the painting show, I will be going to that for a painting show, and that is in February. So I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. I cannot tell if I'm still here. I think I'm frozen. I'm going to type. Okay, hold on. If I am frozen, I am sorry. Okay, I might be frozen with my double chin. I don't know. Let's. Oh, you can still hear me. Okay, great. Okay, so look at that picture of me. It's cracking me up. Imperfection is what I'm talking about. And look at that double chin. Look at that double chin. I hate when, and look at those chapped lips. Somebody, please, I have to snap a photo of that. That is so ridiculously, okay. Okay, I'm letting it go, people. That's what it's about. Okay, I'm glad you can still hear me. I will leave it at that, and I will tell you that I will see you next Wednesday. I have the topic. Please check the events in Facebook, and please share with your creative friends, your perfectly imperfect friends, and I will see. I do think the universe has a way. I will see you guys all next week when I am plastering my business card all over every bathroom in Phoenix. Oh, look at that. That's even better. Thank you, Patricia. I'm glad you love the topic. I will see you guys all next week, and I will talk about creativations. Goodbye.